Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're watching this. My name is Dr. Nick, and I'm a chiropractor in Aurora, Colorado. Now, today we're going to be talking about something that I hold very near and dear to my heart, and that is mindset. It's something that I work on every day, and through my research, I've come up with this PowerPoint presentation to hopefully help some other people that might also be struggling with this. So let's go ahead and get started. I just want to start going over a brief narrative of myself, just so you get a better idea of who I am and if you want to continue watching this video or not. Now, I'm a Colorado native. I was in foster care between the ages of 9 and 14. I was adopted twice. I grew up in Aurora and graduated from Eagle Crest High School. I am married and we have one beautiful daughter. I graduated with my doctorate and my bachelor's degree from Cleveland Chiropractic College in Kansas City. I worked as an associate doctor at an integrative medicine office in Colorado Springs for about 2 years. I opened my office back in January for the second time, and I'm ready to help anybody and everybody that I can in any way that I can. Let's go ahead and get started. If I had a magic genie and I could grant you one wish, what would you wish for? Now, for all you cheaters, no wishing for other wishes, and it has to be for you. Now, I want you to write it down. If you have to pause here, please do so. Now, when Jolie first asked me to do a workshop, I was a lot of feelings, but mostly I was honored and somewhat nervous. I've had a real love-hate relationship when it comes to public speaking. I love educating and helping people, but I fear getting up and presenting to them. So what's the best way to get over a fear? Well, a past me would have said, just avoid it. Me and those I surrounded myself with, I never really pushed for more. But today, I have a different mindset when it comes to my fears, ambitions, and even my own self-image. And that change is what allows me to be able to do presentations like this one. Now, when I finally came up with a topic, I wanted to have a really clever name. So I pondered long and hard, and the result is the incredibly ambitious name that you see before you. But to be honest, this title, it got me excited. I was allowing myself to be me with regards to a talk for the first time. To put people on edge with the intention of educating them and the hopes that they leave with a new perspective. It might not be with regards to certain words, but I'm going to give it a shot. But first, I must pay tribute where tribute is due. This presentation is what I have personally learned from some of the best in the field. It's a combination of what they teach, just with my own personal touch. But without them, I never would have started down this path in search of a growth mindset. So I want to give a shout out to Carol Dweck and Tom Bilyeu. Now let's get back to the nitty gritty. Moist mucus and a girthy gurgle. Now most people have very strong feelings towards these words. But why? They're just words. And the meaning they hold is based on our own perception of them. And our perception, well, that's determined by several things. Whether it be past experience, our own kind of feelings towards them, maybe somebody else's feelings, or even other words that they might be associated with. Now, my intention with having these words in front of you is to have you open to the idea that you have the power to change how things happen to you, whether it be your reaction to certain words or the way you perceive certain events. It comes down to your mindset. Now, just as the words on the previous slide, our mindsets are often unintentionally created. Whether it's something we experience, hear about, a made-up scenario, we start to form beliefs. Now, when it comes to our mindset, our belief system, well, that defines our reality because it creates a predetermined outline of how we respond to things we experience. With regards to mindset, there are two determined belief systems, fixed and growth. Now, Carol Dweck is a world-renowned psychologist who studies at Stanford University on belief systems, kind of brought a whole new light to mindsets. She coined the terms fixed and growth mindsets when her and her colleagues were studying students and their attitude towards failure. Now, through their research, they found that when students believed they could get smarter, they understood that effort makes them stronger. It's not your abilities and talent that create success, but your mindset when you're approaching your goals. Our own self-perception of what we are or are not capable of is deeply rooted in one of these mindsets, and that is directly correlated to our success. Now let's take a look at a fixed mindset. This is the belief that one's abilities were carved in stone and predetermined at birth. Now with this mindset, we're going to foster the beliefs that obstacles will not be overcome, our efforts will never be rewarded, We avoid challenge, and other people's success is threatening to us. Now, Carol Dweck had a very good quote in her book Mindset, and I wanted to read that. If you only have a certain amount of intelligence, a certain personality, and a certain moral character, well, then you'd better prove that you have a healthy dose of them. It simply would not do to look or feel deficient in these most basic characteristics. Now, on the flip side, let's take a look at a growth mindset. This is the belief that one's skills and qualities could be cultivated through effort and perseverance. With this mindset, we foster the beliefs that obstacles can be conquered, our efforts will be rewarded, we embrace challenge, and other people's success is inspirational and can be learned from. So the question is the hand that we're dealt the best that we're going to get, or is it just a mere starting point from which we can improve and ask the dealer to hit me? Now, you may be asking, how do we go from a fixed to a girthy mindset? Number one, we're going to start implementing new beliefs about yourself and what you're capable of. We're going to continue mastering this new belief system, growing from our mistakes, and developing the learner identity. Then we're just going to keep kicking ass, tearing down preconceptions of yourself and what you're capable of. So let's get started with that new belief system. For those of you that don't know, I'm a big old nerd, and this quote has really resonated with me both in and out of healthcare settings. Do or do not. There is no try. Thanks for that one, Yoda. All right, so when we're developing this new belief system, the number one thing you need to know is that beliefs are malleable. What you choose to believe or not believe, well, that's completely your choice. So choose better. You may not have the right belief systems yet. And that's where we get into yet. When I decided to go to chiropractic school, I was working at a call center at Dish Network. It was the first job that I had that paid me a salary, and I was good at it. But I decided after we had our daughter that it just wasn't enough. I wanted more, but I didn't have the skills I needed to provide better for my family yet. So I applied to chiropractic school. I was accepted, and I started down a long path to something that a lot of people never thought I would achieve. You are roughly average, and guess what? Average is enough. The only difference between you and those that you look up to is you. So many times have we seen someone start from nothing and accomplish everything, but they started where you are right now. And then just like our belief system, our brain is also malleable. If you look into research on brain plasticity, you start to understand just how much that we actually can change. For those that don't know, brain plasticity or neuroplasticity is a term that refers to the brain's ability to change and adapt as a result of experience. So research has shown that experience produces multiple changes in the brain and how it functions. It increases neuron length, density, synapse formation, and metabolic activity. Our minds can control the way we experience things, so if we have the power to control our experiences, then we have the power to do anything that we set our minds to. Now let's get back to those beliefs. We're going to improve via disciplined practice. This is going to help us develop grit. Now, grit is something that Carol Dweck defines as to become fixed. Now, one of the things that Tom Bilyeu recommends is we allow ourselves to get bored. In today's world, we're constantly surrounded by distractions that we never really get a chance to just think. So allow yourself time away from everything and just let your mind wander. Sometimes doing nothing is exactly the something that we need. Now, some things to be aware of as we go towards this growth mindset. And number one is the false growth mindset. You'll start to recognize this with quotes like, well, at least you tried and you gave it your best. Don't blindly praise for praise sake. It's important to be truthful about your current achievement. Instead of giving it your best, realize your results and come up with a different strategy to reach the desired results. And then we also need to not avoid challenge. Do you avoid challenge by setting up easy wins? Instead, I challenge you to challenge yourself, damn it. You will never know what you're truly capable of if you are not challenging yourself. Now, we also need to be aware of fixed mindset triggers. Now, as we start to push ourselves outside of our comfort zone, we start to possibly slip back into that fixed mindset. So when you start to hear the negative self-doubt talk, Use it and turn it into a positive feedback loop. I failed, but I will work harder to do better next time. I'm not smart enough yet. Work to turn your depression into motivation to get shit done. Those with growth mindsets are not immune to depression, but they will use it to get more dedicated to the work at hand. Now let's look at how we build a growth mindset. Number one, you need to take ownership of your life. Blaming others for things that are happening in your life gives those things the power to control your life. So instead, truly assess the situation and your own shortcomings, and then allow yourself to not succeed. Not succeeding is not the same as failure. Failure is accepting the results for fact. Not succeeding, well, that just means you haven't found the solution yet. Be the learner. A lot of us tie our self-esteem to being the best or being the smartest. Now, these are things outside of our own control, and I hate to say it, but somebody will come along that is better and smarter. So instead of having that knock us down and take us out, you can learn to become better and learn to become smarter by taking constructive criticism. And then no one can do or say anything to you to break your spirits. This will then allow you to become anti-fragile. Again, this just means that nothing's going to break you down. When we work toward a growth mindset, we stop seeking approval outward and start looking inward, which in turn allows us to not tie our self-esteem to things that are outside of our own control. Get outside your comfort zone. Do not sell yourself short by setting up those easy wins. Do hard shit. This will allow you to further build your resilience. Doing things just because you don't want to. You will thank yourself later. There should be time each day that we all reflect on the day. Now, when we do this, we should spend about 80% of our time going over the things that went well and were awesome. And then 20% should be used as self-constructive criticism because remember, our self-esteem is tied to being the learner, and then we will be motivated to do more, to be more, and to change going forward. You are the average of the 5 friends and the 5 ideas you spend the most time with. Dress for the job you want, ring any bells? It's not just dressing the part, but actually being around the solution that helps motivate us and get us into the right mindset to find success. Do you have the right ideas and friends to get you where you want? Or is that needing to be added to the yet column? Cultivate perseverance. Develop the fortitude to do anything. Start doing the hard shit. One of the things I started doing last year was cold showers. Not because I wanted to, because I didn't want to. When I started my day off with something that I didn't want to do but did anyways, I developed that fortitude to do anything that was thrown my way. There's always going to be things we don't want to do, but afterwards, we always feel better when they're done. So do the hard things, and that will develop your perseverance to tackle anything thrown your way. Dream bigger. Start dreaming dreams that take your breath away. When we were kids, our dreams inspired us to be astronauts, presidents, and even superheroes. WTF happened? Now some action steps. Number 1, get clear. You need to have a clear idea of where you're going, how you're going to get there. Look into OKRs if you haven't. Those are objective and key results. This will help you to define your clarity on your goal setting and then how to reach them. Nobody has 100% growth mindset 100% of the time. So you need to get good at self-triggering. This can be something like the clothes that you wear, the jewelry that you wear, vision boards, things around you that just remind you of the path you're on and what you want to accomplish. Audit your self-narrative. Record yourself talking about yourself unscripted, and then listen to it. And listen carefully and intently. If it makes you feel squeamish, record it again. Then listen to it. And I want you to repeat that until you no longer feel squeamish, and make that your new narrative. This will help you to eliminate limiting beliefs that you didn't even know you had. Acquire skills. One thing, I challenge everybody, one thing that you want to do better or learn to do. I want you to write it down. It must be something that you're willing to work on daily. And now I want you to work on it daily. This is going to help you to develop that grit, and then you will start to develop and cultivate some new passions and skills. We all know what it's going to take to get where we want. So if you are ever motivated to quit something, I want you to really look at that motivation. Is it a lack of passion or a lack of grit that is motivating you to want to quit? Instead of picking that phone up, I want you to journal. And I want you just to allow yourself to get bored with your thoughts flowing. I want every I don't know. Think about the things that need to be solved and write what comes. It might take some time, but you will get good ideas. Is it sticking yet? I want to go ahead and revisit that question from the beginning. Now, when you answered this, did you dream big? Was your wish used with a fixed or a growth mindset? If you're able to, I want you to pause the video and have a group discussion on this. Talk about your wish and what mindset were you using to wish for whatever you wished for. Did you ask for $1 million? Because guess what? You could have had more. And then some parting tidbits. This isn't just going to come easy. Having a growth mindset isn't something that where everything just falls in our lap. You need to know that it's going to take effort, but your efforts will be rewarded. So take action daily. I want you to start dreaming big. And if you haven't checked out Tom Bilyeu or Carol Dweck, I highly recommend it. Carol Dweck can be found with her book Mindset, and Tom Bilyeu can be found at either Impact University or Impact Theory. Thank you so much, everybody that listened to this. I hope you got something out of it. And if anybody would like to have further discussion on any of this, please reach out. I'd love to have more discussion any way that you see fit. And until next time, stay learned, everybody.